You know, do you want a stress relief that is good for the moment but won't give you any long term effect? Or do you want something that actually you can understand that your energy is in your domain and your control, and you can work with it and you can upgrade it so that you can make more upgraded decisions?
Let's spend 10 minutes together to change your life.
Another one I really love for clearing your head, and you can do this at your desk just perfectly, is you put your fingertips on your desk. Now, the reason I'm talking about your fingertips, tips of your fingers and tips of your toes all have pressure points or acupuncture points that work with the glands in your brain, your pituitary, your pineal, your hypothalamus, and your thalamus. So if you want your brain to get all of those glands that dose so much, your pituitary is literally the master gland in the body that regulates all of your hormones. And when you're stressed out, your hormones go off the friggin' charts. Okay. So one way to do that is what I call this brainwashing, right? You get to wash out your own brain as opposed to having somebody else wash it out for you. All right. And what happens is your cerebral spinal fluid, it's the fluid that goes up into your brain. It's what your brain floats in. And when we become a head, which means like everything is totally tense, you're trying to make all your decisions from here without breathing, without energy. This is a really good one to remember because it takes all that stale cerebral spinal fluid that you're not letting flow up and down and gives you a new batch, so that your brain has something, like, oh, thank you. It's something really clear to float in again. So fingertips on your desk. All you're going to do is bow. You're going to inhale up, exhale down. You may get dizzy. So what you're going to do is you're going to press your feet into the floor and you're going to squeeze like you're squeezing up on your rectum and sex organs up to your navel. Try to keep that so that you keep really grounded and you just get to really clear your brain. Okay? So just, I like to breathe through the mouth on this one. Just,
you're in better shape than me.
Don't hit your head on the desk. And inhale up. Now squeeze your whole body around this breath. And exhale. And just tap your fingers into each other. This just helps to really calm your nervous system. And relax your hands. Yeah.
I hope you're doing this at home because I feel great.
It's really true, like just a few minutes here and there. And we now know that you can't work effectively more than an hour straight on one project. And they're now starting to, shrink that down. It used to be 2.5 hours. Now it's an hour. It's probably going to go to 30 minutes, which means if you get up and you do one of these things, every 30 minutes, or take you 1 minute, 2 minutes, think of all the time we waste looking at stuff that doesn't serve you, right? But this will serve you. This will help you to.
If you can stop going on to Instagram and looking at feeds or checking your email every hour when you feel you need a break from whatever you're working on, those become distractions. Instead, if you can actually do what you're teaching today, that will actually really benefit you.
Yes. It's like, do you want a stress relief that is good for the moment but won't give you any long-term effect? Or do you want something that actually you can understand that your energy is in your domain and your control, and you can work with it and you can upgrade it so that you can make more upgraded decisions?
There's a lot of sayings out there that you can't react to situations, you need to respond.
And what these exercises do is they create what I call the moat between you and that reaction, right? that you take it. I'm going to give you a really, really good one for that. And that is just bite the tip of your tongue, not really hard. And you're going to breathe through the sides of your mouth. Just inhale through the sides of your mouth, exhale through your nose. So just, and you can do this in front of people. They don't even know you're doing it. Exhale through your nose and just.
So this is an exercise to do when you're starting to feel really frustrated at somebody, and before you react and go off at them, do this.
Yes. And what it does is it gets you. The reaction is part of our sympathetic nervous system that says, go, do, make it happen, of which you need a lot of energy to do what you're doing. But we also need the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that helps us to go, okay, how can I calm down? And that's what that breath does, is it calms you down. So instead of saying something that you regret, that you have to then do a whole cleanup after, you just stop yourself by catching your tongue so it can't go anywhere, right? Literally. And breathing through the sides of the mouth helps to cool your nervous system down. So what do we say? When somebody's calm and cool, they don't make dumb mistakes.
Yeah, and that you just explained the whole science even behind it. So that's incredible about why you need to bite your tongue. What other advice do you have about diet? You talked about the gut microbiome and the connection to the brain and your nervous system. What about, sometimes you and I will have a quick talk and you're like, Randy, you really should be having this and give your son that. And is your daughter eating the, but what advice do you have for somebody who really is working on a very high level? They have a stressful, high impact environment. What do you suggest that somebody should be, feeding themselves?
One thing I want to say is what you have in your drawer or your purse or your briefcase or your cabinet or whatever, that's what you're going to go for. Okay, because it's there. So you can upgrade it, and I'm not making any money from these companies, but there's all sorts of protein bars, and you want to look at protein bars and you want to look at the sugar. Aloha is a really good brand that's low in sugar, high in protein. And so you want to look at, the carbohydrates, the protein, the sugars, but there's so many protein bars. I used to eat this one protein bar. It was a green protein bar. And I looked at it one day, it had 22 grams of sugar in it. I was like, holy God. So you kind of want to keep the sugar in a protein bar at like 4 to 6. And so that's a really good thing, so that you're giving yourself protein, which will give you great energy in that moment, as opposed to a carb or sugar snack, right? Which will not give you sustained energy. And, right now there's so much about gut biome. My husband and I just listened to a whole, one last night, and we've been studying this. I'm 75. I've been, a vegan and a vegetarian since I was 19. I also exercise a lot. So it's like moving this beautiful body is really important. Look at it. It's like, we're made up of all of these joints that need to be moved. But if you eat junk, your body will ache. You will feel sore. You will feel achy, and you'll think that, you over-exercised, or you sat too much or whatever. But it's oftentimes what we eat. So you want to eat a variety of foods. Really, this is true. A variety of vegetables. You want a lot of greens, but you still want variety. Fruit, but you want to eat the fruit that are on the lower, glucose. So lots of berries, lots of I don't know if you know about golden berries, but they're wonderful. Dried or fresh. Now we have them fresh in the States. So just think in those terms. If you go for sweets and carbs and processed things, and you're going to feel it dumbs you down. Let's just say that.
And it really slows you down. Certain foods really take longer for the body to process.
Right. And so that's why when you have pasta or something like that at lunch, you've got to have coffee afterwards, because you're like, want to go to sleep, right? So you want things that literally give you energy. If you have a refrigerator close by, have like carrots and cucumbers and tomatoes and peppers and stuff like that you can munch on, that actually give you energy and give you fluid. So much of the time we forget to drink. We get so, busy. And then when we do, we pick up a soda or something. It's like, you know, you want the kiss of death, drink soda. Okay. It's just
Yeah.
like, it's, I could go on and on, but it's like
Yeah. Well,
sodas will do you.
I could actually talk to you all day, but to really get more, you can visit gurutej.com. You have the Art of Energy book, and you also have a free download on your site that is really focused on going from overwhelmed to inspired. I encourage, check it out.
It's a success workbook, literally. Yeah. And it's not that long. You can do one part of it, but it will give you success tools. And if you want to book a free session with me to talk about something for 15 minutes, we've got that on the site as well. If you choose, you think like I could be helpful to you, I would love to work with you privately or with your company. So thank you. Thank you, Randy. I love this podcast that you're doing, and I know it's going to help a lot of people.
Thank you. And I appreciate you being on the 10 Minute Mogul podcast and helping you make quick, efficient work decisions. Have a great rest of your day.